Welcome to this explainer. Okay, jump right in with me here. Right now, the city of Destiny, Visakhapatnam, is undergoing a transformation so massive, it's literally redrawing the map. If you've been keeping even a casual eye on the Indian real estate market, you already know property values here are absolutely soaring. So today, we're going to dig into the exact data, the premium hotspots, and the actual reality on the ground to see what's truly driving this boom. Let's kick things off with a truly staggering figure. 350%. That is the 10-year land appreciation rate in the Visakhapatnam area. And here's the kicker, right? This is all happening ahead of the new airport's commercial opening. When you see a number like that, you know we aren't just talking about a regular everyday market cycle. We are looking at a fundamental, structural change in a city's entire economy. So to figure out if this is a solid gold rush or just a speculative bubble, here's our roadmap. We'll start with the airport catalyst, check out key North Visag hotspots, breaking down the ROI, gated communities versus plots, and finally look at local concerns and risks.
Let's jump straight into Section 1, the airport catalyst.
You see, the crucial thing driving this absolute frenzy isn't just the nearly 4,600 crore Phase 1 of the new Visakhapatnam International Airport. No, it's this rare, massive convergence of developments all hitting at the exact same time. Alongside the aviation hub, you've got a staggering $15 billion tech investment from Adani Connex and Google. I mean, to put that in perspective, that's higher than the GDP of some small countries. Add in a 6-lane beach road expansion, a proposed metro rail, and huge industrial zones like the Visakhapatnam SEZ, and you basically have a perfect storm of growth. And what all that infrastructure actually translates to in human terms is fascinating. 20,000. That's the estimated number of new homes needed over just the next 3 years to house the incoming wave of aviation staff, tech professionals, and pharma executives. That is a massive, highly concentrated injection of housing demand.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 2, key North Visag hotspots.
Because as we know, a city doesn't expand evenly, right? We have a distinct price gap in the immediate airport vicinity. Visakhapatnam itself is commanding serious premium pricing, hitting around 22,000 rupees per square yard for approved plots. But check out Denkata. It's emerging as this highly affordable front door to the airport corridor, starting at just 14,000 rupees per square yard and sitting only 10 to 15 kilometers from the terminal. It is a prime, value-driven entry point if you're an early investor. And beyond the immediate airport zone, this ripple effect is creating some very distinct ROI opportunities. Madurwada is totally outperforming by capturing the IT crowd with luxury walk-to-work apartment developments. Meanwhile, Anandapuram is already this established education hub with fantastic highway access, making it a super safe, immediate bet for family housing. And then there's Tarluwada, gaining massive traction as a tech meets aviation destination just because of its proximity to the new Google data center. Now, if you want a crystal ball to see where this is all heading, look no further than Hyderabad's Shamshabad. Industry experts are actively drawing historical parallels here. Think back, when Hyderabad built its new airport right alongside the high-tech city tech hub, land values in that corridor saw a 300% boom within a decade. The data is strongly suggesting Visag is mirroring this exact explosive trajectory right now. All right, let's get into the math. Section 3, breaking down the ROI. Hype is one thing, but we need to see exactly what this market is yielding on the ground today. Here is your baseline data for current 2026 property prices. Flats are running somewhere between 4,000 and 8,500 rupees per square foot, with the premium spots obviously pushing that higher end. Independent houses give you full ownership, but at a premium, while open plots in those high-growth northern corridors are sitting nicely between 3,000 and 6,000 rupees per square foot. But honestly, it's the growth rate that is truly compelling here. While standard real estate might net you a decent 8 to 10% return, properties in the North Visag corridor are significantly outpacing that average. We're talking an estimated 15 to 20% annual return. That, my friends, is the airport effect working for your portfolio. So how do you actually play this? Let's move to Section 4, gated communities vs. plots. Because not all assets are created equal, right? Unplanned open plots might look cheap on paper until you're suddenly fighting a decade-long title dispute or dealing with land encroachment. Flats, they offer moderate appreciation but physically depreciate over time. But approved gated community plots, that's your sweet spot. You get the high and definite appreciation of raw land, but it's paired with benchmark legal safety and minimal physical depreciation risk. Listen, if you take absolutely nothing else away from this explainer today, let it be this. VMRDA approval. This certification from the Visakhapatnam Metropolitan Region Development Authority is your non-negotiable legal benchmark. It guarantees a clear title, an approved layout, and basically ensures the developer has actually built the infrastructure they promised. Don't skip this. Which brings us to our final section, local concerns and risks. We need a reality check here. Whenever we see an economic boom this massive, we have to objectively step back and look at the local perspectives. Developers are projecting massive growth. Investors are seeing incredible ROI. But is it actually a boom for everyone? You know, a really grounded discussion on the Visakhapatnam's Reddit's thread highlights some perfectly valid local concerns. For the average resident of Vizag, the new Bhogapuram airport is significantly further away from the city center than the current one. Locals are rightfully pointing out the potential for increased travel times, higher cab fares, and the looming risk that if these massive passenger traffic projections don't materialize, all this infrastructure could just be underutilized. And those local growing pains, they mirror your investment risks for sure. Sure, this market isn't without its pitfalls. You absolutely have to watch out for delayed infrastructure projects, the risk of buying into overpriced assets right at the peak of the hype, and, again, falling victim to unapproved layouts that lack that essential VMRDA clearance we talked about.
So how do you mitigate those risks? You strictly follow this due diligence checklist before making any purchase in the corridor. 1. Verify that VMRDA approval yourself. 2. Get an independent advocate to verify the 30-year title history. 3. Literally never buy without conducting a physical site visit. And 4. Meticulously review that sale agreement.
The convergence of tech, industry, and aviation in North Vizag is undeniably powerful, and the ROI data? It's incredibly compelling. But I'm going to leave you with this provocative question to ponder. Will the Bhogapuram corridor truly mirror Hyderabad's massive historic success, or will local roadblocks and sheer distance ground the hype before it ever takes flight? Thank you so much for joining this explainer. Do your research and invest wisely.